Okay, I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like Anthropic really cannot stop winning. It's like every single day they're shipping something new, or they're announcing a new feature or some new project, and today is no different. They just announced that they are pretty much acquiring Andrej Karpathy, and if you don't know who he is, or you haven't been keeping up with the whole like computer vision AI space, he's one of the co-founders of OpenAI. He used to work with Sam Altman back in 2015. He also was poached personally by Elon Musk to work on the Tesla autopilot AI team. And so he's definitely one of the biggest players in the whole AI space. And now instead of joining OpenAI again or going back to Tesla or any other company, he decided to join Anthropic. And so Andrej is like the guy that a lot of other guys are looking up to. So if you're like into the research space, you've probably already heard of him. If whenever he makes a move, it pretty much signals like that's where you want to be, or that's what you want to be paying attention to. And so that's why I think this move is pretty important, because it's showing that one of the biggest players in the whole space thinks that Claude / Anthropic is the frontier of research and the frontier of AI models. Because it's not like he's just some random guy who was just barely able to like secure a spot here. He pretty much could have worked anywhere he would have wanted and got the job, and he decided to choose Anthropic out of all places. And so from my understanding, he's joining the pre-training team. So obviously he's not going to be like working on the interface or the front end or any of that stuff. He's going to be working on like the actual foundational core that gives Claude like its backbone and what it's trained on and things like that. And so he previously had an experiment earlier this year where he let an AI agent run unsupervised for 2 days. It ran 700 experiments on its own, found 20 optimizations on its own, and then cut training time by 11%. And so now, from what I know and from my understanding, that's essentially going to be his job here at Anthropic. He's basically using AI to train itself. And as someone who has been following this space and the whole like AI race, I mean, this makes a lot of sense. I feel like one of the most exciting places to work at, or one of the most exciting places just to like be a fan of right now, really is Anthropic. It's like every single day they're releasing something. It's pretty crazy the rate at which they're able to leverage AI and AI tools to accelerate their work. And even though this is quite like a big move, it's not really anything too much different from what we've been having. I mean, we had Meta like the last year, or maybe like this year, where they were pretty much poaching from different companies and trying to get some of the strongest engineers like in the entire space to come and work at their company. And I really don't think this is just going to stop at Andrej. I think this is really going to be like a recurring sort of theme that we see in the space, where these very big players are going to start making moves into what they believe is the frontier, right? Because usually with companies, it's like there's typically this big boat and like this big bloat of a bunch of different companies, but then as time goes on, like only the stronger ones survive. And so I think we're really going to start to see, as time goes on, a lot of the stronger and smarter engineers are going to start jumping ship, whether it's going to be Anthropic specifically, or whether it's going to be Anthropic and OpenAI. We're going to see kind of like the powerhouses start to form, whereas recently it's been like what people call like the AI bubble, and it's been like a ton of different companies. I think we're going to start seeing the really big, powerful players just start to move into like 1 or 2 companies. And obviously I may be totally wrong about that, but I'm definitely excited to see like what kind of moves Andrej and his team is able to make over there at Anthropic. I think a lot of people think like a lot of this space is figured out, but there's a ton of issues that still need a lot of work. And so I'm just personally excited to see what Andrej and his team are going to be able to bring to this space over here in Anthropic. Obviously, I think competition is a really good thing. So I'm also excited to see how OpenAI or some of the other companies are going to respond to this news. But yeah, who knows? Thank you for watching.